Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trek on Tuesday. We have an exciting show today. I'm joined by a couple of esteemed guests. In case you can't tell by the way they are dressed, they are from a little bit further up north than I am. My name is Aaron. I'm at the Scouting America National Headquarters in Texas. But Blake, in the middle of the screen, is in Northern Tier, as is Jake on the right side of the screen. They are joining us from Northern Tier High Adventure Base for the next 30 minutes. It's all about Northern Tier. We have, I don't know, guys, I would say three pretty big, significant announcements to make here over the next 30 minutes. Plus, maybe most importantly, a couple of prizes. Blake, I think can you show the folks what we've got to win at home? Look at that. We've got a water bottle and a cap there, Northern Tier branded. All you have to do to enter the chance to win, thank you for doing that, Blake. Yes. All you have to do to enter for a chance to win is make a comment. Congratulations to Wendy. She has entered to win. Chris has entered to win. Renee has entered to win. Big news today. First of all, though, Blake and Jake, thank you guys for joining us. How are things in Northern Tier right now?
Thanks for having us up here. Things are going pretty well up here in northern Minnesota. We just wound down our summer season and are looking forward to our upcoming events, but a lot of fun things in store.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's that time of the year. You can tell why by the way they're dressed. A little bit cooler where Jake and Blake are than where I am. Shout out to Rob, Joey, and Jody. All of you guys have just entered for the chance to win those two items of Northern Tier swag, if you will. Like I said, three pretty cool announcements to make today. Let's get started with our first announcements. Behind the scenes, Brian is going to kick us off with a video. I think you'll be able to tell when you watch this video what we're going to be talking about. Brian, hit it. In case you can't tell by watching that video, winter is coming to Northern Tier. Registration starts in just about 3 weeks, I think. Does that sound right?
Yep, October 1st at 9 a.m. Central, we open registration for next winter, so winter of 26-27. So all of our holiday stay treks during that post-Christmas time, as well as all of those winter treks going into 2027, open again October 1st at 9 a.m. Central.
Awesome. Yeah. So I have been lucky enough to visit Northern Tier during the winter. It was a few years ago. Obviously, you can see from the video, it is gorgeous. It's incredible. It's snowy and it's cold. It is a winter adventure. Just give us an overview, Blake, if you can, about the winter program. That's kind of a long-standing Northern Tier tradition, right? Tell us about the winter program and what you guys have to offer.
Yeah, so we've been doing the winter program over 50 years now here in Ely. It's based out of our Ely, Minnesota base. And so the huge emphasis on our UPIC program is fun, right? It is blisteringly cold, but our goal is to give scouts a fun experience. And so we teach you how to dress properly, how to manage your temperature so that you can enjoy the winter and have fun during the winter. And we do that by having all sorts of fun activities. Coming up here in the winter, you can snowshoe, you can cross-country ski, you can play a sport called broom ball out on the ice, you can go sledding, you can ice fish. The list just keeps going on and on. You can interact with sled dogs. There's so many fun things to do. And it's such a unique experience too, because our lakes freeze up to like 2 feet thick, which is more than enough to walk on and travel on and even camp on. So coming up to UPIC, you can get the chance to actually sleep on a frozen lake, which is just a super unique, cool activity. And like I said, it is a ton of fun.
What's really great about Northern Tier, it kind of encapsulates, as do all of our high adventure bases, everything that's great about scouting. You can kind of find it right there. Is it challenging? I mean, it's not easy. You saw the video. It's a little bit chilly, but the good news is, you're safely supervised. They're not going to let you get hurt. One of the things I was really impressed when I went up there for Northern Tier was that you guys still have that big warehouse with all those big jackets and parkas and boots. And tell me about the equipment and stuff like that you guys have up there.
Yeah, so not everybody has the equipment for below 0 degree Fahrenheit.
Right.
And so we have a massive outfitting building that's called our Bay Post that is slam packed full with winter boots, winter jackets, winter pants, where we can outfit a crew from basically anywhere in the country and give them the equipment they need to be warm and have fun while they're out there.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. It does get chilly in the winter, but the good news is, just like every other high adventure trek, every other thing we do in scouting, very, very safe, supervised by adults. What a great experience, and something that, quite frankly, not everybody gets to say that they've done this before. I'll admit it, I didn't spend the night outdoors. I slept in a cabin with a heater, but a lot of the scouts, when I was there, they spent the night in this thing called a quinzee, right? They built these quinzees. Kind of comfortable. I mean, honestly, it was not. I crawled up inside there. Not bad at all. Blake and Jake, I'm just guessing you guys have probably spent the night outdoors before?
Yeah, absolutely love a good quinzee. Quinzees can bring the air temperature inside the quinzee up 20, 30, 40 degrees even. And so it could be negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and it can be closer to 20 degrees inside the quinzee, just from your body heat and insulation in the snow. And yeah, super cool.
Awesome. And you're thinking, 20 degrees, that sounds freezing. Again, Northern Tier provides all the equipment for those. If you don't have those heavy duty sleeping bags, all the gear, things like that you need, they are going to make sure you have everything you need to stay warm. A lot of folks in the comments saying it looks chilly. It is a little chilly. A lot of folks saying, let's see real quick here. Chris says 2 crews from Troop 339 in Ridley Township, Pennsylvania. They're coming to Northern Tier in June 2026. That's the summer program. Very, very cool. Rob says Troop 4018 was at Northern Tier this summer as well. Rose says they're very excited about Summer Tier. Stephanie says she just spent the weekend there and can't wait to get back. Very, very cool. Corey says that she has a Philmont and a Summit hat, and now she just needs the triple crown of hats. Corey, you have just entered to win. We're probably about 10 or so minutes away, 7 or so minutes away from giving away our first prize from Northern Tier. Everybody who has commented so far has entered to win. Shout out to Jennifer, who's from Madison, Georgia. I'm just best betting, Jennifer. It's a little bit warmer in Madison, Georgia than it is in Northern Tier. Joey says, looks amazing. Yeah, Northern Tier themselves chiming in saying it's comfortably cool. Very, very cool. Anything else before we move on to our next exciting topic, Blake? Anything else about Northern Tier winter programs we want to cover? Registration, this is for the next winter, right? We're talking about 15 months from now, goes live on October 1st. You can go on the website and learn more about that process and how it works. Blake, anything else we want to let the folks know?
I think that's about it for the winter adventure. It's an incredible time. It's a lot of fun. So visit our website, check it out, learn more about it. And now's the time to start planning to get your crew together before that registration day.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Renee says Crew 007 is headed to Northern Tier in December of 2026. Very, very, very cool, Renee. You got plenty of time to get ready, fundraise, get in shape, get ready to go. That's going to be a great trip. Love it, love it, love it. Let's move on to our next topic. And by the way, everybody who's commenting so far has entered for the chance to win one of 2 pieces of Northern Tier gear. Now, a lot of folks know Northern Tier high adventure bases as canoeing, boundary waters, just incredible scenery up there. Really, probably not an exaggeration to say one of the premier canoeing destinations in North America, right? I mean, I don't think that's really an exaggeration. There's this thing in canoeing called a portage. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what a portage was until I started working for the Scouts. Portaging is part of the process when you canoe from one little body of water to another. I think I'm explaining that right, guys. When you pick up the canoe and carry it from one body of water to another, there's a really, really cool program that we're going to talk about next. with Portage in the title. Brian, roll that video, and we're going to come back and talk about this.
For generations, the call of the North has beckoned adventurers, a land of endless lakes, ancient forests, and journeys that shape a lifetime. At Northern Tier, we've always celebrated this spirit of exploration, and now we're thrilled to announce the return of a truly legendary adventure. We are bringing back our iconic Grand Portage trips. These trips aren't your typical high adventure. They're journeys into history, tracing the very paths of the fur traders and voyagers. You'll navigate the historical waterways heading east towards Lake Superior. The grand finale of your trek will start with paddling down the legendary Pigeon River before meeting the start of the Grand Portage. One final challenge for your crew, leading to an incredible finish at Grand Portage National Monument on the shores of Lake Superior. It's an opportunity to test your limits, strengthen your team, and forge bonds that last a lifetime. Every paddle stroke, every step, connects you to the rich tapestry of this land. Are you ready to answer the call? To step into history and create your own Northern Tier legacy? Spaces are limited. Reserve your Grand Portage adventure today.
That looks awesome. As Jody in the comments says, Grand Portage, awesome. I agree, Jody. Sign up for this trek opens in 1 week from today. Northern Tier, again, known for its canoeing, the Grand Portage, kind of the godfather of all the canoeing expeditions, right, Blake? Tell us about the Grand Portage tour and what that's like.
Yeah, so the Grand Portage trek is a special canoe trek that we are offering, where you follow the route from our base here in Ely all the way to the Grand Portage, which is the final portage onto Lake Superior. And that route is absolutely steeped in history, so it's a lot more than just a canoe trip. You're going to be traveling along the international boundary, which is the international boundary because of the route that you are going to be paddling. Along that route, there are huge, amazing cliffs that scouts from Northern Tier seldom get to see, because you're going to get to travel further away from base on a longer trip. The whole route is about 115 miles. The last portion of your route is going to be down the historic Pigeon River, which again is part of that fur trade voyager route. And then you complete your trek by completing the 8.5 to 9 mile long Grand Portage, which is a national monument, and you get to finish at the National Monument fort, where you'll get to interact with some of the history there. You'll get to see the fort as it would have been over 100 years ago. And you'll get to see all of these incredible things and get to experience the wilderness, while also getting to travel this truly legendary historic route that is absolutely incredible. I will say I've personally been able to do this route twice in my time, and it is by far one of the favorite canoe trips that I have ever taken. Not only is it well known as the Voyageurs Highway, but it's also a Canadian heritage river. By definition, you're paddling the international boundary. And so on the Canadian side, it's designated as a heritage river, which just shows how important and how amazing this route is.
Awesome. Yeah, and it looks amazing, and there's also something to be said. Not only is the scenery amazing, not only is the experience amazing, there's something to be said for going through such an area so rich with history. And I know that's part of the trip too. You get to learn all about things like that. Now, much like the winter experience, I wonder if maybe some people look at that video and go, "Oh, that looks difficult." Blake, what kind of preparation are we talking here? Is this, how challenging is this? Is this for everybody? Who is the Grand Portage trip for?
So the Grand Portage trip is certainly not going to be your, sit in a base camp and fish all day. It is going to be a little bit more of a challenging trip, but it's not too far out of the reach for most Northern Tier crews. It's 115 miles in 10 days. The average Northern Tier crew will travel 10 to 12 miles a day. So you've got a little bit of wiggle room to get that mileage done. And then I know what a lot of people are thinking. A 9 mile portage at the end. Yes, there is a big portage at the end, but it's absolutely beautiful. And with the way our program is set up, you have an entire day to do that 9 mile portage. Also, your food pack is going to be at its lightest. You and your crew are going to be at your strongest because you're going to have been traveling for the 9 days prior. And so it's not going to be your first, you're starting off, your muscles are going to be built in, and your crew is going to be ready to go on that adventure.
Yeah, that's great. Talk about that. You've done this before, I think you said, right, Blake?
Mm-hmm.
So talk about that last day, 9 miles. I'm just guessing two people are carrying a canoe together, or how does that work?
So the way we set it up, usually everybody has their own item. So either carrying a pack or you're carrying a canoe. We one person carry all of our canoes, and you work together with your crew to kind of time breaks. Everybody will do it differently. Either walk for 15 or 20 minutes and then decide to take a break. You'll shuffle around. Some people will carry a canoe for part. Some people will carry a pack for a part. And the other nice thing about Grand Portage is that it is all downhill, heading towards Lake Superior. And then at the end, it is absolutely incredible. After 9 miles of portaging, get to finish at the largest lake in the world, a lake that's absolutely beautiful, one of the most scenic lakes in the area. It's an incredible way to finish a canoe trip.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds amazing. And again, not an exaggeration to say that this is some of the most sought after canoeing waters this side of the world, really. What a cool, unique, once in a lifetime type experience that we offer our scouts. Proud to be a part of Scouting America to offer this program at Northern Tier. We talked earlier about registering for the winter program. That goes live on October 1st. So keep aware of that. The Grand Portage registration starts in a week, and that's for summer. Is that for next summer, Blake, or for the summer after that? Next summer.
That is for next summer, 2026.
Gotcha. So start thinking about plans for next summer, and in the winter after that. That's what we're talking about here in that general time frame. Northern Tier High Adventure, a great place to visit. We have one more exciting announcement to make, but before we do that, I think it's time to give away an item from Northern Tier. Blake, they were so nice to provide us. Blake, I'm going to let you choose which one we should give away first. Blake says we're giving away the hat first. I love that this style of hat. I'm a little bit older than Blake and Jake, but this style of hat was in style when I was their age. I love that this has sort of come back in style. That is a really cool hat. Blake, show that up to the camera. I'm going to scroll through our comments. Everybody who has commented has been entered for a chance to win. I'm going to scroll through and pick out a random comment. And the winner is Dana Ray Barr, Barr. Congratulations, Dana. Let me see if I can just throw that. Yeah, right there on the screen. Dana Ray Barr has just earned themselves a hat. Check your messages, Dana. We will reach out to you to get some mailing information from you and ship that out to you. We have, before the end of the show today, a water bottle to give away. Blake, maybe you could hold that up real quick so we can show the folks what that looks like. Yes, very cool. Thank you. That is our second item. If you didn't win, first of all, congratulations to Dana, and our commenters are always very nice to congratulate the winners. Congratulations, Dana. But if you didn't win that, you still have a chance to win a water bottle here for the next 12 or 13 minutes or so. We have one more very exciting announcement to make. This is a really cool program that I think was offered at one point, and then at one point it wasn't. Now it's back. Brian, when you have a moment, roll that video, and we're going to talk with Jake about this exciting opportunity at Northern Tier. We are talking about float planes. In case you guys don't know what those things were, That's called a float plane. I've never been in a float plane. Jake knows. Jake, have you been in a float plane before?
I have, yeah. And it's a super exciting opportunity that I'm stoked to tell you guys more about.
Registration for that program also goes live 1 week from today, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about what that experience involves. What are the folks in for who sign up for that?
Yeah, so for next summer, we're bringing back one of our Northern Tier Classic programs, which are float plane launched canoe treks. What we're looking at is working with Atikokan Aero Service out of Atikokan, Ontario, and doing 10-night adventures into the Crownlands and the bush up there to go explore some really pristine and remote lakes where you may not have had a chance to paddle out to prior. We're looking at some really deep entry points, which save you days of paddling at the very start of your trip and allows you to access some really cool spots that people really don't get out to anymore. This gives you a chance to do a lot more paddling, a lot more fishing, and see the pristine wilderness up there.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, all of Northern Tier, every trek you're going somewhere awesome. The advantage of the float plane, correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, you're going somewhere even more remote, right? It's taking you somewhere even further out there. Instead of paddling out there, you get to cut over, go as the bird flies, literally on a float plane. How long is that float plane ride we're talking about here?
So it's anywhere up to 35 miles. It'll be around an hour, if not a little bit more, in the plane. But what we're looking at is, like you said, getting out to some really pristine lakes, which people don't have a chance to go out to except by canoe. So with these lakes, I mean, we're talking about a really intense start of your trip with a high level of excitement. It's going to be very quick filling in our registration as well. We only have 21 available slots for next summer. It's our pilot program for this upcoming season, pilot. But what we're looking at is a limited amount of slots to get us started for next year. So we're anticipating that they're going to go fast, and we don't want anyone to miss out on it. So if you guys are interested in our float plane trips, it's a great way to get deeper into the Crownlands. It's a great way to shave a few days of paddling off your trip to get to a remote start point, and it is a ton of fun. There's nothing like the excitement of sitting on that float plane as it takes off and lands.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. So if you're watching Trek on Tuesday today, you're kind of getting an exclusive scoop here. Registration for this goes live in a week, 21 spots, Jake said. And then once it's full until the next season. We hope they continue to do it in future seasons. So I would love to just get a few more details from you, Jake, if I could, about this experience. People will fly up to Northern Tier. I'm just guessing spend one night maybe there on the base and get on the plane the next morning. How do those logistics work?
Yeah, so this will all be hosted out of our Atikokan, Ontario base, the Don Roger Canoe Base in Ontario. They'll spend one night on the property with us before being shuttled over to the seaplane base just there in Atikokan. From there, they're going to work with the local bush pilots who will fly them out on 2 de Havilland Beavers, which are that float plane that you just saw in the video. Once they fly you out to your entry point, that's where you'll begin your itinerary, your route, and then you'll be paddling for the next 8 nights. After you're done paddling, you'll either be able to paddle directly back into our base camp or to another remote pickup point. From there, you would be picked up and shuttled back to our base camp in Atikokan. So it is going to be a really cool opportunity, but like we were saying, only 21 slots this year, but it's going to be a unique chance.
So you mentioned getting shuttled back. Is that a second float plane ride coming back, or is that like an actual literal shuttle?
So that's one of the details we're working out for summer of 2027.
Okay.
But as of next year, we're going to be looking to paddle back into camp or get picked up by a shuttle.
Okay, so Ted, I think that answers your question. Ted asked float plane outbound or both outbound and return. Just outbound for now. Returning, you basically will paddle back in to the return. Again, the advantage of taking that float plane is you get you get dropped off into the even more remote wilderness than you would otherwise. I'm guessing. So the canoes are they already out there?
No, those will actually be strapped to the outside of your float plane. So when you get to the base, you load up all your gear, your canoes get strapped to the pontoons of the plane, and then you take off and fly.
Okay, well, that was a dumb question by me. The canoes are actually strapped to the float plane. There you go. That's why we have the experts on, and not just me talking about these things. What a really, really, really cool experience. Again, registration for that goes live 1 week from today, as does registration for the Grand Portage trek also goes live 1 week for today. Registration for winter, we're talking about not this coming winter, but next winter, goes live October 1st. To be safe, I would say everybody get on there and register as soon as you can, especially as you heard Jake say, the float plane one, 21 slots, that'll fill up, I imagine. So yeah, be sure and get on that. That is very, very cool. Jake, anything else we need to let the folks know about the float plane adventure, the experience, or what they need to know in order to be prepared for that?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is this is our first official announcement. So for all of y'all tuned in now, you are getting a head start on the rest of the world, hearing it first here on Trek on Tuesday. But as we start to market more, those slots are going to disappear quick. So please, 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 if you guys are excited for this for next summer, register early. They're going to disappear on us before we know it.
Gotcha. Very, very cool. Yeah. And, the whole high adventure base experience is just such an amazing experience, not just the trip itself, but we've done Trek on Tuesdays and interviews before where we talk about getting prepared for a trek can be a fun bonding experience, fundraising, all of the things that lead up to it. Winter of 2026, 27 seems like such a long ways away, right? But there's so much that goes into a trek like this. The whole experience, what a great confidence builder, not to mention memory making for the kids and the adults, I think, right, who go. We are just seconds away from giving away our second prize. Blake, if I could get you to hold up, this is a Nalgene water bottle, a special Northern Tier Nalgene water bottle branded. Very, very cool. I'm going to pick a random commenter. Be sure and check your inbox to find out if you won. As I scroll through the comments, shout out to, congratulations to John from Texas. I think John says, do the float planes come down here to Texas to pick them up? I don't think they come all the way down to Texas, John. That's the bad news. The good news is, though, you have won a Nalgene water bottle from Northern Tier. Congratulations, John. Check your inbox. We'll be reaching out to you shortly. For those of you who don't know, you kind of mentioned this a second ago, Northern Tier high adventure base, multiple properties. It's not just one base. It's really bases, I think, right? There's a couple of different properties. The float plane takes advantage of one of those even more remote properties outside of Ely, which is maybe the site of most of the winter programs. A lot of great stuff to offer. Again, Grand Portage float plane registration starts 1 week from today. Winter Trek registration starts on October 1st. Guys, we've got just another minute or so. Any other final points? Anything else we need to say to the folks about Northern Tier before we let you guys go?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions about what we're running for programs or the different opportunities up here at Northern Tier, please don't hesitate to call our office. We would love to talk to you guys about what we do, and we'll be able to put that phone number in the comments here.
Awesome. Very, very, very cool. Yeah, like I said, I've been up to Northern Tier before. I was lucky enough to experience winter up there. Yeah, it was cold, but I walked around on a frozen lake, and honestly, I mean, I was comfortable. It was chilly. It was a comfortable chilliness. I was using these nice big boots that Northern Tier provided and everything like that. It was quite memorable. That was some time ago. I still have wonderful memories of it. You know, Colleen actually asks a legitimate question. Do you need workers? You guys hiring staff?
Always. Yeah, we are always.
Colleen, yes. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. You are hiring staff.
Oh, yeah. We're hiring for our UPIC and next summer as of right now. So if you guys are interested in working on staff up here, put an application in. We'd love to have you.
I think basically everything they need, they can get from the Northern Tier website. I'm going to have behind the scenes Brian throw that up one more time. There you go. Registration again for the Grand Portage and the Float Planes program starts in a week. Registration for the Winter Adventure starts in about 3 weeks on October 1st. Man, I'm excited. I can't wait to see some photos of those float plane adventures. I remember I've been working for Scouting America. I won't say how many years it's been, but it's been a few. And I do remember in sort of the olden days there being float plane adventures. So glad to see that back. And then, of course, the classic winter trek. There's so much: dog sledding, ice fishing, broomball, sleeping in a quinzhee and an igloo, all that good stuff like that. Great stuff. Jake and Blake, thank you guys so much for joining us today. It's great to see you two.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome,
really appreciate
awesome. Yes, awesome. And thanks to all of you for watching from home. All of those of you who commented, appreciate it so much. Congratulations to our winners. And again, go to the Northern Tier website for information on those two programs, Grand Portage and Float Planes, which opens in 1 week, and the Winter Treks, which opens on October 1st. Thank you all for watching. And thanks again to Jake and Blake. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.